Welcome to my channel. If you'd like to see how I achieved this beautiful look, then please keep on watching, and if you like what you see, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. As you can see, I already went ahead and did my brows off camera, and then I set my lid space as well. So the first shade I'm going to be using is Diversion from my Morphe/Jaclyn Hill eyeshadow palette. I'm just blending that into my crease, and I'll keep building up the shade until I'm satisfied with the outcome. I'm going to do same with the other eye. I'll just apply the shadow and blend until I get the desired outcome. Apply and blend, apply and blend. Windshield swiper motions serve in transferring the shadow, while circular motions help in blending the shadow. So when I want to transfer the shadow, maybe from the end of my eye to the front part, I use the windshield swiper motions, and when I'm trying to blend out the eyeshadow on the same spot, I use the circular motion, as you can see. So what I'm doing here is I'm intensifying the eyeshadow color. Take note of the brush I'm using, because I'm going to go ahead and blend the edges of the shadow with another brush. Right here, I'm using another brush to blend the edges of the shadow so there are no harsh lines. And everything looks smooth and flawless. Okay, then to intensify the crease area, I'm going to use the shade Temptress. I'm just using that in the same area to deepen my crease. I'm not doing too much with that shade, just a little, because I still want the first shade to show up more. This is just going to serve as how should I put it? It's just going to help deepen my crease even more. So I'm going back with the previous brush I used to blend the first shade. I'm going to use that and blend between the two shades I've applied, because we don't want no harsh lines. Okay, then I'm spraying this synthetic brush. I'm using it to apply the highlight shade to my brow bone, just to keep it popping. I'm using the LA Girl concealer in the shade Cool Tan to cut my crease. Please take note of the brush I'm using. I'm using a flat angled brush. I didn't really do a dramatic cut crease, just something very simple, not a high cut crease. I was going for a very simple but beautiful, glamorous look. Then I use my finger to blend out the edges of the concealer, still to prevent harsh lines. Then for my lid shade, I'm using the shade Shh from my Morphe / Jaclyn Hill palette. I'm just applying that all over where I applied the LA Girl concealer. Guys, this eyeshadow palette is so beautiful. I don't know, but the shades they're toned down, yet they're elegant. I don't know. Look how bright it is. So I'm just doing the same for this other eye. I'm applying the lid shade to the area where I cut my crease. The reason I take my time is because I want it to be really precise. You don't expect to take 5 minutes and do something that some other person does for 30 minutes, and then you expect it to look as bomb. So I have to take my time with my Cutcrease. Then I'm going back with the first shade I used, the Diversion. I'm applying that in my crease area, and I'm blending it into the lid shade to prevent any demarcation. Okay guys, I applied my lashes and eyeliner off camera. Now I'm just priming my face with the Pond's face moisturizer, and then I spray with my MAC Gold Light spray. Then for foundations, I use the Mary Kay and the Huda Beauty foundation. I'm just blending that into my skin using a beauty blender. You have to take your time with this, guys. Blend, 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 blending properly. I know it doesn't look like I'm taking my time around my brows, but I actually am. It's only because I fast forwarded the video, that's why it looks like I'm being rough with my foundation. I am not. I'm actually being very precise around my brow. Then to highlight my under eyes, I'm using the LA Girl concealer, still in the same shade, Cool Tan. So I'm highlighting my under eyes, the bridge of my nose, my chin, and my forehead. So I'm going in with the same beauty blender I used earlier to blend out the highlight, but I'm not using the same sides as I used to blend out the foundation, because I'll come back and use that to make sure that everything is blended together. I'm using another side of my beauty blender. Blend everything out seamlessly. You have to take your time when you're blending your concealer, because once you mess up with the liquid, there's no going back when you've already applied the powder. Like, there's not much you can do if your liquid highlighter is not well blended out. tutorial to make sure you do a good job with blending that out. Go back and forth if you have to. So I'm just blending the highlighter on my nose, the concealer on my nose, and on my forehead. Then to make sure that everything is seamlessly blended in, I go back with the area I used to blend out my foundation and tap around the edges of the concealer I used in highlighting, so that everything looks seamlessly blended out, no harsh lines whatsoever. Now I'm using the Black Opal setting powder in the shade medium. I'm just going to set the areas where I highlighted. That is my under eyes, the bridge of my nose, my chin, and my forehead. I'm not going to actually bake, but I'm going to let it sit for a while, not too long. Then I'll take it off. Before I applied my setting powder with a beauty blender, but I don't think that has the same effect as a brush. I think using a brush is better. In a way, I feel it provides more coverage than using the beauty blender, especially since the beauty blender you'll be using is going to be damp, because obviously the beauty blender you use in blending out your under eye highlight is a damp beauty blender. So I will not advise you use that to set the areas you've concealed. It's advisable you use a brush. Applying some of that setting powder to the bridge of my nose. Most often I'm usually not precise with applying setting powder on my nose. I just apply it all over, because I realize when I leave out the areas of my nose that I want to contour, that's the sides of my nose, I always get harsh lines. So I always prefer to just go all over my nose with it. So to set my face, the rest of my face, I'm using my Jordana USA setting powder, compact powder, I'm using my Jordana USA compact powder to set the rest of my face. For reverse contour, I'm using the Black Opal in a darker shade. I'm not sure which shade that is, but I'll be sure to leave that in the description box. That's if it does not wipe off. So yes, I'm just using that to set my reverse contour. For reverse contour, I don't do liquid concealing. I just use a powder, because blending it out is no child's play. I prefer to go in with a powder. And I don't let that sit for long as well. I'm applying some to the sides of my mouth because I usually get crack lines. So that will help to prevent the crack lines. Just apply some of that powder, the leftover that I have on my sponge. Then immediately I'm wiping that off with the same brush I used to set my face. I'm also dusting off my under eyes and taking off the excess powder I have there. If you're having difficulties with blending out the excess powder under your eyes, you can go back with the all over powder shade that you used, and just will make your job easier. So I'm using the Naked Contour palette to contour my face. I'm not sure which shade I use, but I'll leave that in the description box as well. I'm contouring my cheekbones and my forehead. I take my time to blend out my contour because I don't just want straight lines on my face. I try as much as possible to blend that into my skin. For blush, I'm using the same Naked 3 palette. I'm using that dark red shade to blush up my skin, bring some color back, bring some life back to that face, if you know what I mean. So I apply that to my cheeks, then blend it out into my contour. Then I'm using this Kiss Beauty spray to set my face, and then I fan that out. Then I go back into my Jaclyn Hill / Morphe palette. I'm using the shade Diversion to blend out my under eyes. Then for mascara, I think that's a Naked mascara. I'm using that to blend my natural lashes into my falsies. For highlighter, I used the ABH Cosmetics Glow Kit palette. So I'll leave the exact shades I used in the description box. I'm highlighting the high points of my face, my nose, and my Cupid's bow as well. I forgot to contour my nose. That's why you see me going back with the contour brush I used just to contour the bridge of my nose, bring back some dimension. I use my finger to make sure the highlighter is properly blended. Then I lost the clip for lining my lips, so I just have where I was filling the inner portion. And yes guys, that is that for this look. We are done. I love how it came out, so pretty, so clean, so fresh. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and also subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on my next videos. Bye guys.